I'm going to call the meeting to order at 6:32. Thank you all for being here. This is our June meeting, and unless there's a compelling reason, we will adjourn for the summer for the next couple months and then reconvene in September. So this will be our last gathering until the end of summer. And all right, I'm going to take notes. Poor Carol. She's panicking about this because she said, this is my first official job as vice chair, that she's taking the notes and she's having this trouble. Okay. So everybody's here? Sherry's not here. Carol's not here. Okay. No members of the public are present. Thank you all for arriving on time. We have, the first item is the minutes of the May meeting, which were sent out. Oh, look at that, Carol. You got the whole deal.
I'll try.
Meeting was called to order at 6:32.
Okay.
Thank you. And we're just about to move into the May minutes.
I will make excuse me, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the May, what is the date? May 14th, 2025 meeting.
Thank you.
Are we
Any
gonna make
second?
note of Karen's edits, or when Maureen makes that motion, is it including Karen's edits?
Yeah, there was another version sent out, Julie, which may be
Yeah.
buried in your email somewhere.
Oh, I thought Karen's, okay, so Sherry sent another one, sorry.
Sherry took
Right.
Karen's edits and
Perfect.
revised the
Okay,
minutes.
thank
So
you.
yes, the answer to your question is yes, but it's an official version with all the edits, corrected. So is that a second from you, Julie? Oh, Jim.
Um,
I didn't second, but I will if no one else is.
Okay.
I have a
Seconded by,
question.
what? Go ahead.
My question is just about the gentleman that came from the public who came for some reason. I wonder if the minutes should reflect somebody came and their interest was such and such, and I don't know if that's kind of in general how it's done or not.
Well, it says that, but you saw that it says public present, then it has his name. And then in parentheses, it said no comments. So he attended, his name, and he had no comments. Are you looking for more than that?
I'm
Or are
looking
you
for
saying maybe it doesn't need to be there?
I'm looking for why he came and what do we do with people who come from the public and I'm assuming he wanted to say something. That's
Well,
the question.
Yeah, he was offered the opportunity and didn't. So I
I
don't
think
know.
sometimes people just tune in to listen to hear, maybe there was something on the agenda that he was interested in, or maybe he was just looking for what might be going on. But sometimes people just attend to hear what's going on.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, they don't
unusual
have to make, they don't have to make a comment. And anyways, even if they did make a comment, Jim, we are not, it's not an engagement with the board. The person just makes their comment, and then the board can decide later if they want to add it to a future agenda. So it's not a back and forth,
No,
just as a reminder, because it doesn't happen often.
Doesn't,
yeah,
I think this,
if we want to encourage the public to feel free to make comments or ask questions. Seems so, but
well, the public is welcome. The notices are published on the town website as well. And that's about as far as the invitation goes, but it is there. And we welcome the public if they would like to come and listen and or comment. So we have a motion and a second to accept the minutes as written. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Roll call
Raise your-
vote,
Yeah, roll call. Maureen? Yes.
yes.
Susan, yes. Jim?
yes,
Julie?
I was going to abstain because I wasn't at the May meeting.
Oh, thank you for reminding, I know you were stuck in traffic somewhere, that's right. Rich
Yes.
and Carol,
Yes.
thank you. All right, minutes have been accepted. Thank you all. And then we have the financial report, which Karen sent yesterday or today, I'm not sure, for 2 months. Because we didn't look at, we weren't able, we're looking at April, I'm sorry, it's May and June right now. No,
Mhm.
May and
Yeah,
April.
well,
May and June, I think.
the
May?
The
financials are
months
for
are April and May.
Yeah, April and May. It says June, but it's April and May for the
What's
June
the-
meeting. Yeah.
It's the June meeting that, which reports the
Oh,
financials
oh.
for May. And
From the
so,
previous month.
yeah, it's always weird, like, because the number, everything we report in June, all the numbers from May. So we're on track financially. We had some vehicle maintenance, so you can see that supply line that had been low for a little bit has gone up because we had to get the Flex needed a new tire axle or something like that. So we've spent some money on the vehicles, but we had it to spend and it's anticipated just normal maintenance to keep up. So we're on track with the budget. That includes the driver's line item, which is what I always watch very closely to monitor if we have guesstimated the right amount of hours we'll need for our drivers for the year. So this year it looks like we're going to come in pretty much even. So I think we got it and we level funded the driver's hours for next year. So we'll just stay on track with that.
It's
And
with
that
the
was
three
just
The
drivers.
end of the, oh, I'm sorry. This is the end of the fiscal year, right? For the,
June, June 30th. So
June
right
30th.
now,
Yeah, okay.
yeah.
All
So
right.
nothing really standing out in the budget. We have the money that we need to close out the year for salaries and for other, for our fuel, for our office supplies, all that good stuff. So financially, we are on track.
So you expect to close June 30th with roughly spending what was budgeted for the year for all line items?
Yeah, so there's still a couple things we could probably purchase for upstairs if we have money
Okay.
left over.
Yeah,
That we had
yeah.
planned for. Have to watch and see. I haven't looked at the news in a couple of days to see if the governor has signed the bill to know. I'm waiting until the last minute to spend some things in case for some reason we find out that the earmarked funds for the air conditioning are not going to be there from the federal side of the house, so that we could potentially then purchase some window units or some portable units to put upstairs. It's no big deal to not do a whole ton up there this summer if we know that there's light at the end of the tunnel and we're going to get permanent air conditioning. But if that light goes out, then we need to think about some different solutions.
I believe we have to take these separately, two motions, one for April, one for May. So, I would move that we accept the April financial report as presented.
I'll second.
I'll second that.
Julie.
Who is the second, please? I'm doing the minutes.
Julie.
Julie, was that you? Okay.
Okay, all in, roll call vote, Maureen,
Yes.
Susan, yes, I'm going as I see you on my screen. Jim,
Yes,
Julie,
Yes.
Rich,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
thank you, motion, the April report is accepted. We need a motion to accept the May report, May financial report.
So moved.
Maureen,
Maureen.
I'll second. Julie Brown.
she hesitancy. Thank you, Julie, okay. All right, roll call vote, Maureen,
Yes.
Susan, yes. Jim? On May financial, accept a yes or no vote. Mr.
Jim.
Moore,
I'm sorry. Yes, of course.
thank you. Okay, Julie,
Yeah.
Rich,
Yes.
Carol,
Yes.
Jeff. Okay, great. Good job on the financial management, Ms. Karen. Thank you for being such a good steward of the funds.
Well, I'm trying, and let's hope that our new van gets here this fiscal year so that we can prepare for it. I hope the new van is ready in the next 7 to 8 months so I can plan for it accordingly when I'm preparing the fiscal year 27 budget.
I believe
Yeah,
it
but
takes
who
so
knows?
long. I
Might
just
work
can't
out.
believe it takes so long. But it does. Okay, moving into the director's report. Excuse me.
Yep. So mostly you can see our numbers are on track. I estimated the unduplicated because we didn't take names for the grand opening and we had a good showing for that. When you see the May line on the programs and people who attended. So the numbers are looking good. We still have people coming in. We did get some feedback. We kind of deflated our balloon a little bit the week after the open house because we got some feedback from some people for upstairs. So it was good stuff for us to take note of and plan accordingly. Some people were upset that there's not a bathroom on the 3rd floor. So we made a point now when if we have something upstairs to let people know that there's not a bathroom up there. So to remember to go on your way up. And we point out where they are on the other 3 floors. And we got some feedback about the echoes. Some people felt it was too echoey for seniors to be able to hear what people are saying. So I did try for a SIG grant. I won't hear until June 23rd if we got it for blinds for the windows or like shades for the windows on the 2nd and 3rd floor, or primarily the 2nd floor. And I also put in for some sound panels that we could put on the walls on the 3rd floor that may help with the echoing a little bit. Although part of that is, of course, personal preference because we have had a couple of things up there that everybody loved it and didn't feel that it was too echoey. So we'll try some things to help it where we can and try and make accommodations for people who may struggle. It was in a particular exercise class. So we just said, okay, you can just stay downstairs. And we're really leaving it up to the instructors. But we did take the input and we are making sure that people know, go to the bathroom on the way up.
Karen, I just have a clarification on the echo. I mean, there is a lot of wood up there. It's beautiful, but and I'm wondering if someone might be confusing volume, because I couldn't hear some of the people at the open house when they were speaking, versus not so much the echo, but do you think, are you clear that it's an echoey thing or a volume thing?
Oh, they were very clear with me. It was
Okay,
an echo
okay.
thing. Yes.
Okay, I know
It was
certain, yeah.
the instructor had a headset on with the microphone that
Okay,
projects
okay,
out for her.
okay.
Yeah, we did just have with the microphone, our memory cafe last week, we had an Elvis impersonator who was really, really good. We want to bring him back and he had a microphone and it sounded fantastic. So I think it may have just been that class or just that instructor speaker, but we took note and we took it seriously and we looked at things we could do to potentially mitigate it. So it deflated us a little bit because we were so excited to bring a couple of the classes up and we're like, oh, all right, but we picked up and moved on. And and that was the feedback. So we are not using it for a lot of stuff. We did use it for Elvis. And of course, it was the hot day that it was 90 degrees. But it was in the morning. We put fans on and everybody did fine. The card players are loving the card room on the 2nd floor. We've been doing a couple of programs have been able to be in the classroom because it hasn't been that hot, knock on wood. We have Congressman Moulton coming in on Monday at 2 p.m. If anybody is interested, he's hosting a panel of people to discuss Social Security concerns. His constituents have been reaching out with a lot of uncertainty and concerns about Social Security. So he very nicely chose to host it here in Wakefield. So we're excited to welcome him on Monday. And their item is supposed to run an article about it. We're trying to get as many people as we can because I think there's a lot of uncertainty and a lot of questions about the security of Social Security, what changes are going to be made. So he has a panel of 3 people that are going to be here to discuss that. And that is going to be on the 3rd floor in the stage if it's not 90 degrees. But we'll see. We'll be flexible and move it where we need to. Otherwise, we're really just doing programming. Really, I just scheduled something for January of 2026, if that doesn't scare you. But we're doing programming through the fall, educational, entertainment, that kind of thing. So we're starting to get vendors on the calendar for the next 6 to 8 months. And we are doing, as an aside, trying our first overnight trip through one of the travel companies. So we're offering a trip to New York City. It's an overnight, and we have had 6 people sign up. So that's nice. I
Really?
think we need to
Wow.
have 10 for them to come here, but we hadn't done that in a long time. So we're just trying to add that as a mixture within our other charter trips to see what people, we're kind of doing, throwing things out there to see what people are interested in and if we want to continue to make sure we're reaching
Would
as
that
many
be
people as
a van trip, or would people take the train, or how would that, what's the transportation for that?
it's a charter bus. So
A
they'll be
charter.
mixed in with other,
Okay,
Best of Times is the travel company, and they'll be mixed in with other seniors from other towns too. So it's a nice way to meet people.
It
And
seems,
none of us know.
oh, sorry, Karen. I was just gonna say parenthetically, it seemed pretty pricey for one night. It was like 900 and something dollars, right?
Mhm.
But
I can't
apparently
remember if
it
it's 1 or
didn't-
2 nights, but yeah, we've had a few
Yeah.
people sign up. So it's one of those, if people can afford it and they want to
If
do it.
people can afford it, yeah. I always wonder
Mhm.
about people who want to go and they can't afford it, but we don't have any kind of scholarship funds or anything for that sort of thing, for entertainment. Correct?
No,
No, okay.
we do for our local trips. If we had a senior who wanted to go on one of our
Yeah.
local bus trips, we would be able to say, oh, you don't have, we can give a scholarship fund for that or tell them no charge for our local trips. For the charter companies, we haven't done that.
Of course. Yep.
well, it's sort of
It's
the
an
difference
interesting process.
between an in-kind contribution from the town, the senior center versus, subsidizing a cost or paying for a cost, I guess, right?
Right.
Yeah, and the day
That's
trips, we
great.
also have those, the charter trips with Cheryl Toby, all around New England. So we do have those, tend to be from $100 to $200. So we do have the day ones too that go. We partner with Stoneham still for that. I think
Okay,
that's really it, though. It's just getting stuff on the schedule. So if anybody has any questions or ideas, I would love to hear your input. But that's basically what we've been getting done around. All I've been getting done is focusing on catching up, figuring out all the funding for the end of the fiscal year to close out the fiscal year and to plan for the next 6 to 8 months of programming.
And how is the murder mystery, the play? Wasn't
It
there a
was
play
great.
made? Yeah.
They did not want to be, well, they had mixed feelings, the actors. One
Oh,
wanted to be upstairs and 2 did not. So they were actually in the main gym on the first floor, but it went great. We had a smaller crowd than usual. We weren't sure why. And we're investigating. We want to talk to some people. This was the first year we charged. We charged $5 to come. And that was because the cultural grant only covered it in part. So we thought that
Yeah.
seemed like a good affordable price to come and have a nice murder mystery. So we don't know if it was just the day, if it was advertising, or if it was the cost. So we are doing an informal survey, just asking people, oh, you've come in the past, how come you didn't come to Delvina, just to see why, so we can make the determination for next year when we bring them back.
okay.
Like a significant, I mean, do you know, roughly like 20% fewer, 40% fewer? You have any?
I'd have to go back and look at a few different years. Last year we had a wait list, so we had 50 that came
Okay.
and 10 people on the wait list. But the year before that was more like 35 had signed up. So sometimes it's just day of the week that you pick. But
Yeah, the day of the
we're
week
just
or,
asking around.
okay. Is that a baby head? Can we see
Yeah,
that?
say hi.
Oh my goodness, look at him.
You there.
Wow, he just doing nothing but growing, Julie.
I know. Can you say hi? Yeah. Hi.
Oh,
Okay. Can you say
hello,
bye?
hello.
Yeah. Oh.
Any questions or comments or suggestions for Karen?
I just had one quick question, Karen. Can you just remind me what budget the air conditioning is in that was filed? You mentioned federal, but I didn't know if it was federal or state or.
It's state. So the way it was explained to me is the House had passed it last time I talked to Representative Lippert-Garabedian. So if the Senate passes it, which I think the Senate might have, and then the governor signs it, then it's approved. But the funds that would be funding it from the state budget have some tie to federal funding. So if the federal funding doesn't come through for the state to be able to fund us, then we would potentially not receive it. But it's in the state budget technically, but it's somehow tied to where they get the funds to pay it for.
Okay.
So does that mean not till October 1st, we would know, or you, about the federal money? Is it in?
I'll reach back out to her after it passes with the governor. That she was talking to me about this at the open house as well, so I wanted to wait and talk to her once we knew more. So once the governor signs it, I can reach back out and just ask her if she knows what she thinks the timeline might be.
So
Because yeah,
it's
I'm not sure with the funding. I thought it was
Yeah.
would be with the state's fiscal year, not the Fed's fiscal year, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'll reach
it's-
out and ask her that though. It's a good question. So I will ask her the timeline on the different fiscal years and when we would look to get the funds to purchase it. Or to
And
go
what
move
was
forward
the
with
amount
project.
is 75,000, is that correct right now?
Yeah.
It sounds
So I'll
like you
check
would
in with her.
probably need to have some kind of plan in place anyways, Karen, because even if the funding goes through, do you have to put it out to bid? Is it gonna be in-house DPW or like,
Yeah,
how's
so
it,
they've
could take time for it to even happen?
I think so. In DPW, some of it they plan on doing themselves because they were out here.
Oh,
They've
that's
already been
good.
out looking at it to save
Oh, that's
some money. So I
absolutely.
will check in though and get back to you. I can email it out to the group if I know more about the financial. I can report it in September when we're all back together of where the funding source is.
If there's anything in the federal budget, whatever department or program it's coming from, that we as private citizens, not as members of this board, but that we as private citizens could do some advocacy, that would be helpful to know as well.
Okay.
If,
I'll
if,
reach out.
I was gonna say, especially with Congressman Moulton there on Monday.
Right.
yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yes,
I'll reach out
definitely
and
have
ask
that
her.
upstairs, Karen, in the heat.
And good plan.
Make
That's
it
what I'll
extra
do.
hot.
No, that's a great idea. I'll check. And I don't know if it's directly tied or if the federal government doesn't give them money for this, then they'd have to reallocate. So I didn't get into that level of needs,
Okay.
but that's actually would be good to know. So I'll reach out to her and ask. And Steve may or may know. I could ask him too on his last few weeks here,
Yeah, he's almost done, right?
Mm.
July 3rd. His send off was nice on the Sunday there, the day after the rededication.
Was it well attended? Was it well attended, do you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Good. Okay. Okay, Carol. So anything else for Karen, or anything that we want to offer, anything that you want to bring in? Suggestions?
Well, the only thought that I have is about the skill set of this group, which is grand. And is there anything, if people wanted to volunteer and do some program or something, that we would be available to do that, to expand your list of people who could potentially do a program? There's a lot of expertise in different areas split among this group. A little heavy on the mental health side, but that's okay.
I think that would be, I would love if somebody has an idea of something they could add to the programming that you would want to
Okay.
do. I think that might be the easier way to look at it to see, and then I would
Sure.
happily fit it into the schedule instead of, because a lot of our stuff is going to be I'm bringing in instructors to do educational stuff or like a program, but we would love to add if you have any ideas. And Maureen and I have talked about having somebody come quarterly to help with housing applications. So I think that might be a good thing for going forward too with the housing authority.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're
But
open to any ideas. So if you have any that you'd like to add or ideas of a program you think that any of you would like to lead here or give me the ideas to spearhead it, I would love to hear them.
Okay.
Is the housing authority application something that the issue is more the application or the technology around filling out the application? Like, could I be helpful even though I've never filled out an app just because I'm tech savvy? Or
You probably could. The best way to do the state housing application is online. And some people do struggle with that, but it's nice to claim your application, then you can go in and update it. But we do accept paper applications too, so we still print them out and let the people, and then we enter them, but that's definitely, if we come, we didn't have a lot of people last time, so we're gonna try to advertise it a little earlier this time, right, Karen? So we can try to get some more people to come. Most time people are already on the list, they just want to know where they are. So we brought our laptops, we were able to look everybody up that came. So
Yeah,
that's
and I
good
think we
news.
had advertised it as an information session more last time. So maybe if we advertise it as need help their housing application, although we'll have to
Yeah.
carefully word it, right? Because you're right, people are gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna come and see if it can move me up, or where am I on the list? And I know you can't really give them where they are on the list, if I remember correctly. So
No, that's very difficult for us to give estimates. It just depends, especially with the state list. It's so huge. It's just hard to determine, but we definitely can look people up and let them know they're on the list. We can make sure that their contact information is correct so that if someone does reach out to them, that, we're able to reach them.
okay,
But
and
yeah,
then,
we can pick a
sometimes
date.
people- okay. That sounds good. Yeah, I know Leo's been very successful with them in the office because people love to come in and do their application with the person because they feel some level of confidence if they've done it with the actual representative. Like, oh, I'm not missing anything. I feel good.
And
I don't know
people
how
want to
often
tell
people
us,
come in there.
they come into the office, they want to tell us their story, everybody wants to tell us their story, which is okay. But it doesn't affect their placement on the list usually, but they still just like to have that interaction.
Thinking
But we
about
can schedule that.
applications, I know the Shine counselor, excuse me, which is the Medicaid counselor, Medicare counselor, they're available to help people with, I assume with applications for Mass Health as a, people can have Medicare and Mass Health at the same time, and there's been some changes in that application process. But one of the things, I'm a Shine counselor as well, and one of the things that I've been running into a lot in the past 6 to 8 months is people applying for Social Security for the first time. I'm not applying for Medicare for the first time, which you do through Social Security. You do it through the Social Security office initially. And with the difficulty, and it is difficult, in accessing Social Security offices right now, it's very difficult. People are really struggling if they're not literate enough to navigate the Social Security website. So I'm thinking out loud sort of, but it may be that there might be something a little more that we could do. And Julie, that's something that it's not that complicated. It's not. I mean, it's being computer literate and being able to follow the steps on a website, probably similar to the housing applications. But
Yeah.
that might be something that we could add to the mix. Of services or that would be available to people.
So Beth does that with people, although what we've discovered, like the Social Security signing up for it is beast. It's not user friendly.
No, it's
It
not.
is quite horrible, in all honesty, to sign up and get your account all started. Beth's had to help people. If you've ever set one up and then you don't remember it, you have to be from the same IP
Yeah.
address. You have to do this, you have
Yeah.
to do this. So Beth's been working with a couple of people, and it's really not easy. I even tried. I'm like, I can't even get my own to open because I had opened one years ago that I forgot about, like long ago, different name, different everything. And it's not user friendly.
No, it's not. And now you need the ID me, you need a two-factor authentication, and it's really very confusing. And for first-time applicants for Medicare or for benefits, Social Security benefits, you can't walk into an office anymore. I mean, that started during COVID, but even as offices have reopened, it's still it's just an impossible thing, almost impossible. So I'm gonna.
We are doing or offering an iPad basics course that's going to be starting in the next few weeks, starts in early July. And it's grant funded through Mystic Valley, and they're going to go over the basics. But at the end of the 5-week course, for people who do not have an iPad, up to 10 people will be given an iPad. So that might be something for some people too who don't have the access. That's easier than trying to do it on your phone, maybe. But they may learn some basics about internet and how to connect to different things.
Yeah, and then how to troubleshoot, a little bit of how to troubleshoot,
Mhm.
um, when you get thrown off. All right, okay, thank you, everyone. Carol, do you have anything on the housing production? Is the final report, the town council still hasn't approved it, I'm
They
assuming?
still haven't approved it, Ark. I did
Okay.
not know until I reached out to him to get an update. Noah Harper, who was the consultant who he and Sam Elliott worked closely, he's gone from the consulting company. I just got
Oh.
back one of those emails. So I did communicate directly with the principal or the owner of the company, Jen Goldson. And she said they had done a presentation for the planning board that went fine, and they were waiting for the town council to approve it. So we just hope it goes through without issue. Unfortunately, with the two sort of professional leaders of the group and the chair of the group left because he was on the town council and was not, and his term ended, we've sort of lost some momentum.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a lot in one, all in one time to lose sort of all the leaders. So I'll do my best to stay in touch with Jen Goldson and see what I can learn for the next meeting, certainly by September.
So is there, to your knowledge, there's no town councilor that even on an ad hoc basis has picked it up?
Yeah,
to show-
there is. I'm not remembering who that is at the moment, but somebody did pick it up, but it's very different than it was it Bob Vincent? Is that his name, who was on the town council? Yeah,
I think so, yeah.
yeah. So I expect again that it will go through without a problem. The issue will be, does it get filed in a bookcase? And that's the end of it. So we will try to keep it alive as much as we can.
If the
Isn't
executive summary comes out over the summer, will you shoot it? You'll send it to
I
us?
will. Yeah.
Thank you. I interrupted
isn't
somebody.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Rich. I keep interrupting you. I'm sorry.
That's okay. Isn't John Carney our liaison to the council? I don't know if reaching out to him would help because he should be someone that we should be in touch with about it.
Sure. Yeah, no, I think all is good right now. I don't think we need any advocacy just yet, but that is a really good suggestion. So I've got that
And
down.
actually, if you're bringing up something that maybe he would be, I don't think we've been copying him on minutes of our meetings and they're posted, but it might be a good thing. Because he had said at the beginning of the year when he became the new liaison that he was not going to come to our meetings. He didn't say it in a bad way, but he said his priorities were elsewhere. But I don't know that we've done any kind of outreach to just keep him informed. So that might be a good thing for us to do going forward.
And maybe inform him about Congressman Moulton's presentation on Monday. It might be the kind of thing he might want to go to.
That's a good idea. I'll email the town council and let them know that he'll be coming.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Okay, Maureen, Affordable Housing Group, you met today.
We just met at 5 o'clock. So we've had some different, some leadership changes too. We're missing Sam as well. We hadn't met, we didn't have a quorum last month. So today we updated the RAP application, which is the rental assistance program. We just updated it to have an asset limit, similar to like some of the public housing or the affordability units. There's an asset limit, so we're going to add that to our application. It's going to be 75,000. But that program's been moving along. I think they're up to almost $40,000. So they've given out a few grants, as we're kind of calling them, for security deposits, the moving costs. But again, without Sam there, so they're doing a little reshuffling as to who's looking at the applications. And Gail has been, she's the chairperson of our group. So we talked about that. We approved the ARPA. So the money that we're spending on the RAP program is $200,000, and they were ARPA funds from the federal government, and they require a quarterly report, so we approve that quarterly as well. And we talked about the herd school again, just trying to figure out if there's any kind of feasible way to add some housing units there that are friendly to the neighborhood. There's a lot of questions about that, but we talked about how we might be able to go about that. Just even having someone look at the building and let, just say, this building is, it's full of asbestos. It's, you need an elevator, like, does it make sense? Is it big enough? That kind of thing. So they're looking at that just to kind of, because we're looking to really add housing. And it's interesting too about the housing production plan. I think I don't know if it's in the mission statement of the housing trust, but we're supposed to look at the housing production plan at least twice a year.
Right.
To review it, to see that it's not been put in a drawer or on a shelf somewhere, and that the town is actively trying to do some of the things that they come up with. So we did talk about
And
that.
Gail
as
is
well.
the chair, Maureen.
She is, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, so there's a nice synergy there.
Absolutely. And she's on top of everything. So I think that will be good. It's good to kind of hold the town council and everyone else accountable, hold each other accountable, that we're still moving forward with the housing production plan and the goals of the town. Because I think that's kind of what happened last time. It just kind of faded away. That
Does
was
anyone know if they'll replace Sam? It sounded like there was some subtext to
There-
the discussion about that.
There is a job posting on the website,
Oh,
on the
good.
town's website. Her job is posted. Steve said it's still in the budget. It's funded. So it has been posted.
And who is Gail, please? Who is Gail?
Gail Sievert, she's the chairperson of the Housing Trust.
I know, does she have a position within the town or is she?
No, she's not a town employee. She
Okay.
is some kind of developer, right? Or architect, or I forget. But she has a lot of good information about building. And that's why we talked a lot about the herd school and about whether it made sense to hire someone to just give us that information, if it's feasible. I mean, I guess with a low income tax credit, you need at least 20 units to make it feasible. And I don't know that that spot is big enough or anything, but to have someone look at it and let us know what they think, or maybe it's a 40B, because you need some of those market rate units. But that also has to get through zoning and through the neighbors. The neighbors have been some concerns there.
Is there
don't
any
know if-
flexibility with the RAP money to use it for an assessment like that? Or is it the RAP dedicated to?
So the RAP funds are for the from the ARPA funds, but there is some
Yeah.
other funds in the housing
Okay.
trust, so there could be, but we don't want to spend $30,000 or $40,000
I
on a
know. Well,
feasibility or a fit test study. If we can do that less expensive,
Right,
that might
right.
be worth doing. There are some other funds. The other thing that we talked about too today, I'm sorry, I forgot about it, is that originally we were only gonna help renters with the RAP program, but now we're gonna have a presentation. I don't think it's gonna be Steve next month, Steve Mayo. We're gonna look at giving like a soft loan to people buying affordable units in town. So that there will be a lien on the property and the money will come back to the town. If, kind of like like the home funds used to work, if you sell it in 5 years, you have to pay the whole thing back. If you keep it for 10 years, you pay back 50% of the loan. If you keep it for 20 years, along those lines. So trying to look to help someone maybe be able to purchase one of those affordable units. There's an affordable condo, I think, at the Renly residence right now, about 280. So that's kind of created that conversation. So that's where we were today.
That sounds productive, like a productive meeting. After not having met for a bit.
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good that we got to meet because we bring it up at this meeting, we bring it up at the Housing Authority meeting, so it's good that we have an update.
Yeah. Okay, any questions for Maureen, or I didn't ask if there were any questions for Carol, but any follow-up on either housing report? Okay. All right, any matters not anticipated, anything, anybody that we haven't discussed that anyone would like to bring up, talk about before we go away for a couple months?
Just have a very nice summer, everybody.
Yeah, let's hope the weather continues to get better every day.
Hope we get a Saturday without rain.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have any, I mean, well, Rich, you might know about this, people that are playing sports, all the games that have been rained
Mhm.
out, all the matches that aren't played because of the rain. There's just, I have friends whose grandchildren have like eight makeup games stacked up and then it rains, they've, um, and weddings. I have a good friend who got married this past Saturday in the rain, or her son got married, all that graduation part, all that stuff.
The grass
It
is
will be
nice and
sunny,
green.
hopefully in July.
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. And not deadly hot like it was last summer. But hot is good. It's summer, so
And a nice escape is a senior center with air conditioning on our first 2 floors.
that's right. Nice and cool
Spread the
there.
word.
That's right. Very. How about vacation for you, Karen? Any time off that we should know about? Not that we should know about, but any time off scheduled for you? You deserve a break
Just
today.
during, yeah, during the summer, I'll be gone for a week in July and then a few days in August.
Good. Good.
Enjoy that.
Thank
Okay,
you.
there. Some invitations issued for follow-up on any talent you want to bring forth or program ideas or contributions. So keep that in mind over the summer too. And feel free to communicate with Karen. Um, and we'll see what percolates.
All right, and I will send you all an email when I find out more about the funding source.
All right, great. Thank you. Okay.
So I will make a motion to adjourn if no one else has anything else to say at 7:15.
Thank you, Maureen.
Have a
I'll
good
second.
summer.
I'll second it.
Second.
Rich is a second. Whoops. Oh, look, Cam is voting in favor. All right, we have a roll call vote. Maureen, adjourn.
Yes,
Me, Susan, adjourn. Jim,
Yes.
adjourn. Julie, I heard a yes.
Yes.
Yes. Rich, you may.
Yes.
Rich, yeah, and Carol.
Yes,
All right. Well, Carol, thank you for taking minutes and,
Sure.
just let us know if you need any fill in the blanks, but
I will. Sherry sets a high bar, so
well,
we'll
don't
we'll see.
compete. Just don't compete.
Yeah, no,
Just
I know. I won't. I
all
will
right,
do my
good.
best and I will send them out,
Thank you so much for
next
doing that.
week.
Yeah,
My
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Okay.
Thanks, everyone.
see
Enjoy.
everyone in
Have a nice
September.
All right, good
Next
night.
meeting
Summer.
is September 10th, is that right?
September 10th, yep, at 6:30, September 10th, Wednesday.
6:30.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Good night, all.